A recent commentary revolving around Mia Khalifa and the adult content studio BangBros, aka Venetian Productions, from politicalnewstime.com. Another thing I wanted to bring up this evening was brought to my attention by someone on Twitter who, I guess she doesn't want credit or anything, but I'm going to give it to her. A woman known as Phoenix Foundation. Make sure that you all follow her. Phenix Foundation, Phoenix Foundation. But she brought to my attention an article revolving around a retired adult actress who was incredibly popular. Actually, we do have to delve into her situation a little bit in detail because it does revolve around race to a degree as far as why she became so popular. I'm talking about a young woman known as Mia Khalifa. I don't know what her legal name is, and even if I did, she's one I wouldn't say what it is because she's having a really hard time right now. I think that Phoenix Foundation wanted me to reach out to Mia to interview her. I don't feel that she's in a place in her life right now to where she really needs to be doing an interview with much of anybody, especially not me. I hope that if she ever sees this particular podcast, it's of benefit to her. But Mia Khalifa appears to hail from the country of Lebanon. She seems to be Lebanese. So I'm assuming that she's of the Islam faith, that she's Muslim. A lot of times, actually all the time, women who are Muslim do not go into the adult entertainment industry because it's not only looked down upon in when it comes to their faith, but they could be killed for going into the adult entertainment industry. I mean, really, regardless of your ethnicity, once you go in that world, you are going to be looked down upon by certain people within your social circle or your past social circle, just in the world, because you have a lot of people with very closed minds and who are just looking for any reason to look down upon women, truth be told. But women who have a family background rooted within Islam have a particularly difficult time, and such is the case when it comes to the woman known as Mia Khalifa. Now, Mia Khalifa, to my knowledge, has not worked in the adult entertainment industry for quite a few years. It's very interesting to me that she does hold on to her stage name, but hey, a stage name does not only have to do with the adult entertainment industry. It can go into mainstream too. Who's an example of that? Actually, there's several. Pamela Anderson. She was an adult industry model and she went into mainstream, one of the most popular. She was a Playboy girl who crossed over into Baywatch. And she's doing all kinds of things in her life nowadays. Same with Carmen Electra, Tracy Bingham, dare I say myself, even though I use my legal name nowadays. When I worked in the adult entertainment industry, I was known as Monica Foster. Now I use my legal name, Alexandra Mayers. But a lot of people have worked in the adult world and then gone on to do all sorts of things in their life. All right, but Mia Khalifa, in her mind at least, is having a hard time shaking it, meaning her adult industry history. I kind of feel that what she's doing in regards to making such a big deal about her disputes with BangBros, aka Venetian Production, she's actually making her situation worse because she's drawing attention to her adult industry past. I'll bet you that there's a lot of people out there who have heard the name Mia Khalifa and they don't even think about her having an adult industry history. But it appears that her objective is to get her adult content removed from online. Okay, I can see her point. I definitely can. And if that is what she needs as a sensitive individual in order to move forward in her life and feel good about herself, I feel that Venetian Productions should respect her wishes. I don't think they should give her a hard time about it. Apparently, they sent her a cease and desist letter because she's saying things that they feel are defamatory to their company. But I'll tell you, and I don't care if they send me a cease and desist letter. I don't care what they do to me, because I think that they're a bunch of assholes over there, because they are the ones who essentially spawned the founder of a tremendous, very homophobic, very misogynistic, and very racist hate crime known as Porn WikiLeaks. I'm not going to say the dude's name because I don't feel like tainting my own podcast with his name, but they're the ones who really cultivated him. And to this day, I think it's him who's given this girl Mia Khalifa a very hard time on another website that he has control over, or at least is posting on to this day. So, BangBros, you ain't in the right. Venetian Productions, you're a bunch of assholes, and karma's gonna get you. Because just because you create content of a woman or a man at a certain stage of their life, why do you feel entitled to, no matter what they do, consistently link that content to them just because y'all want to be in adult entertainment until the days you die? And not just you, Venetian Productions, but a lot of you pornographers and directors and producers out there, just because you're okay with doing what you do until the day you die. I'd say 90% of the adult actors and actresses that you create content of, as they age, as they mature, as they go on in life, sure, they made the choice to participate in the world that you live in at one stage, but as they go on, as they age, they want to put that behind them. And why are you so opposed to letting people go? Why are you so opposed to letting them move on in life? Do you get off on essentially enslaving their image for all time? Does that really make you feel good about yourselves? Because if it does, that tells me even more so than what I already think about you, that you ain't shit. If somebody wants to go on with their life and they're not comfortable with that image that you already made thousands of dollars off of being out there anymore, take it offline. Let them go. Me, I don't care. I feel like, hey, there's some people out there, I want my image, my sexual image in their head. I want that when it comes to certain people. But my mind works a certain way. But other people, they might not feel the way that I feel. And if it bothers them to such an extent to where they're dealing with mental health issues, to where they're depressed, to where they're angry, to where they just want to kill you, because it is going to eventually get to that point to where some of these young men and women who you've exploited, if you don't have a certain level of consideration and empathy toward them, some of these millennials, they're not like I'm Generation X, okay? These millennials, they're different. Some of them might end up coming after some of you assholes. I wouldn't put it past some of them, because they are sick of a lot of the bullshit. But when it comes to this girl, Mia Khalifa, let her go. Already, she's dealt with so much when it comes to just her culture and her ethnic origin, her religious background. Let her go. Let her go. I mean, I did make a tweet about this earlier, and I am going to read it verbatim. And Mia Khalifa, if you ever see this podcast, I really do want you to take these words that I say to heart. Because here's the reality. I tweeted this 8 hours ago. Just a thought for ex and retired porn stars. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter whether your old adult content remains online or not after you leave the industry. Because the people and things you're meant to have in your life will be there for you regardless. Because that's been my experience. Sometimes it can be a little frustrating and heartbreaking even when it comes to dating, romantic relationships, because people can be freaking cruel. And I'll bet you Mia Khalifa has encountered this, because I know that the young woman who I'm not going to name tonight, even though I could, I'm just not going to, who just had her heart broken to a degree. Sometimes people will look for just anything to have one up on you, or to try to tear you down psychologically. And when you're an ex-adult entertainer, by default, it's your content that people who are just weak and who are assholes, that's what they're going to use against you, if they can, if they know it bothers you. I think that any man who does that to a woman is a piece of shit, really, because it takes a lot of strength to leave that world. Once you go into adult entertainment, even if you leave, you're never the same as when you went in. That's what people don't quite understand. The only way I can explain it to somebody who's never dealt with that world or been in that world is to equate it to like the Vampire Diaries. When you go into that world, you are metaphorically changed. You're bitten and you're changed into something along the lines of a vampire. Okay? And I know that sounds scary and probably kind of silly to a lot of you, but it's not. Not at all. Because you see a part of life that people who've never been in that world never get to see. You learn about things when it comes to yourself that other people never learn about themselves. You actually become far more human than people who have never been in that world. Almost an elevated form of human. It affects you spiritually even. Because it's not just sex. When you're talking about the adult entertainment industry, you're talking about a different way of thinking. You're talking about a different mindset. It's all cerebral. And that's what people don't get about sex. Sex is all cerebral. It's not about the biggest private parts or anything physical. The best sex starts in the mind.